Welcome back, you giggling gals. Time to gallivant our way through Calandra. We are over halfway through our deep dive of Shield of Sparrows by Devney.
That's weird.
I know. It happened really fast.
It really did. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we've recorded pretty fast too.
Whatever. Warning, while we may be your giggling gal pals, we don't recommend listening to this podcast around little ears or ears that may be offended because we say bad words and shitty things. As my kid's like outside the door.
I know. Mine are still sleeping. While covering this book, just know there will be spoilers for the entire book in each episode. So please stop whatever you're doing and go back and finish the book if you haven't already. Obviously. Reminder that thoughts, feelings, theories, and just things we say can evolve, change, and be debunked or be just completely off the rails. Regardless, it's all for funsies and it's not that deep.
I love how we say that things can like evolve and change when they literally do throughout an episode.
We get inspired, okay? And things change. We're always looking for different angles on things. That's what she said.
Sometimes something sparks one thing and then we go down a rabbit hole.
We went through a rabbit hole this week on a couple different things.
We did because I actually looked at the cover of Shield of Sparrows and several things stuck out to me, which also like I have this book. It sits behind me every day. I look at this. I held it physically to read it. And I still miss things.
Yeah, but what is on that cover is not on the Kindle or anything like that. You couldn't find it on a synopsis or anything. So it's just that.
Yes. So
We will discuss it.
I'm going to be way better about looking at books because like after this moment, I've been like looking at the map, the inside picture, like all of that. But inside the sleeve of the physical book, it says, "That was the day I learned that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear was to become one." And then the official synopsis says, "Everyone wants me to be something I'm not, a queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refuse the role chosen for me? What if I made my own rules? What if there's a power in being underestimated?" Which gives me chills. But anyways, and what if for the first time I reached for it? Us being obsessed with her being a monster herself seems like it's going to be spot on. Both those quotes bring me back to this line. Did you ever stop to think that maybe the door to your cage has always been unlocked, Sparrow, and all you had to do was push it open? We're right. This bitch can fly.
She is going to fly. She's got some monster in her. God, crux, whatever.
But even reading this, what if there's a power in being underestimated, which, she's been in gray her entire life. Like she hasn't thought she was strong, but now like people are telling her that she's strong and that she's brave. I think she's going to reach for it.
She's going to reach for it.
Why is this she's going to fly?
Book 2, she's going to do it. Yes, especially with Margot. I mean, that was the first time someone called her strong in this book so far, or not so far. The first time someone called her strong, and Margot, I can guarantee, never told Odessa she was strong her entire life. Like she's like, "Here, gray girl, you stay over there. You're not." Like, probably didn't say much nice to her, and the fact that that was kind of her parting words. There's more to her that we don't know.
Really?
But we know. We know. Okay?
We know, but do you guys know? You will know.
Do you know that we know that?
We'll make sure you know. Now that I've had a stroke saying that.
It's hard to say it sometimes, and then I get confused when I'm doing it.
I want to also say that I've seen people complain about Ransom's name and how lackluster it is. But when you start getting into name meanings, like, I think it's fitting and it makes sense. Like, I don't know if you've read anything, but like...
Yeah, people bitch about it, and I don't quite get it.
I don't think everybody looks up name definitions in the way
that we do.
Maybe that's where the disconnect is. Like, people don't dive deep enough into it, which is why you need this podcast. And you can see why Ransom is a good name.
It is a good name. The only thing that annoys me about Ransom is like while writing it, I don't know, I always will add an E, like handsome, and then I have to delete it. I'm like, why does my brain keep doing this?
I keep writing random.
You can say your silly little line. I'm not doing it.
I honestly hope that you guys are relaxing those shoulders, unclenching those jaws, and clenching that clam to get into this journey. They're all really great at voice.
A voice. a greater voice. Don't punch that.
Whenever I see a reel about like relax those shoulders, I'm like, oh shit.
I don't like to listen to other people. Don't tell me what to do. So Enneagram 8 in me. So when you tell me, I'm like,
Okay,
I'm
well,
gonna get
don't
off.
relax those shoulders, Blakely. Look tense.
Well, I have a million knots in my back just for the funsies of it, so might as well.
You old bag.
I am an old bag. Wah.
Man. Chapter 39. Like a human child, Tarkin children are exhausting. Odessa is letting the little nugget sleep in her bed. Ransom, aka the Guardian, has caught that Odessa is doing a crappy job of crate training her new pet. She's tired but refused to admit it, so she tells the Guardian that she misses baby E now that she has gone back to Elder. Ransom has a way to cheer her up, though. She can assist in Lissa work. Moping is now done since she gets to put on her trench coat and fedora and become a detective. She has her baby carrier on for Faze the Tarkin, too, a real working mom, and then they are off to Ravioli. I gave up in trying to even write it. I'm struggling with the name Ravioli. I just like keep saying and thinking ravioli, and then my mind goes to SpongeBob. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the formioli. No, you didn't watch that episode?
No, I was never a real big SpongeBob. Bab. Was never a real big SpongeBob girl. You know what I mean? But I also think ravioli. The Italian in me is just like, it's ravioli time.
The whole time I gave up. It's just, I wrote ravioli the whole time.
I know. After you say this, here on out, it's ravioli.
I also want to point out that the front of the book says, fear the monsters we make. And Odessa is proving that the monsters that they fear are assholes because no one is there to teach them otherwise, just like kids. Everyone has just accepted that they are vicious monsters, but she's got this little snuggly bug right there. Oh my God.
Right.
The mom and me.
Little snuggly bug.
Right there.
Your emotional support animal. Let her live.
But, monsters are made, not born. Well, I mean, they're kind of born as a monster.
I'm like, yeah.
They're toots.
Born, but they are also made.
Their toots are made. Your face, like, don't say that. Before they go, Ransom is like, no, leave the child. But Odessa doesn't have a babysitter for a tiny monster, so he's losing that battle. It's only the beginning of the journey, and Odessa is ready for her thousands of questions. She asks who else has sworn to kill him, and then eventually answers that enough people know what to do when, not if, he gets stuck in goblin mode. He would prefer Xavier did it, though. Odessa asks about a cure, but Ransom just says there isn't. I'll be out of your pretty hair before you know it. And Odessa cannot picture Tara without that sexy man, and she refuses to believe that that is his fate. But maybe it's a hunch of hers.
I agree. Maybe it is a hunch of hers that it's not fate. He's so resigned to there being no cure, and I agree with Odessa. He is not right. Men are always wrong anyways. I think Odessa is the damn cure, or a part of it. I probably think that because it feels reminiscent to Onyx Storm theories, but it's possible. If you think about the fact that when she was poisoned by the Fennec, she survived, and that is supposed to be similar to Lissa. So it's as if her blood is similar to it, that her blood would be able to fight off the Lissa. What if he needs to drink her blood like Rist and Feyre in the damn cave, though?
Maybe he just needs to eat her hair.
I thought you were going to say eat something else. And I was like, maybe that.
That clam is not clenched. She's relaxed at that point.
She is relaxing.
I was going with the hair because of the obsession, and you just said pretty little hair. But yeah, no, you want a different
Pretty
route.
little pea is what I thought you were going to say.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
Podcast.
Odessa just has it so fucking bad. She thinks I'd been in this kingdom for nearly 2 months, and somehow he'd become the center of this new life, the axis I seem to orbit. He saw me in a way.
Sorry.
Hold on, my thought. He saw me in a way that no one else had ever tried. He didn't stifle my sarcasm or snide remarks. He teased me about the questions, but lately he'd indulged my curiosity the way he did Baby E's. He gave me the freedom to be myself, to stop hiding. He was a man who'd follow me off the cliff, who'd jump at my side, not pull me away from its edge. Okay, that sparked something, which is why I just had that weird little stutter. Because just think about how there's a pull from the moon, the moon's pulled from the ocean, just the axis I seem to orbit.
Yeah.
Just that's what that was my little stutter. So just it's ironic with like the two moons
Moons, yeah.
situation. That's
That's
where my
no
brain went.
moon. Anytime I say something about a moon, I have to quote Star Wars, and I apologize.
So the pool makes sense. The tether makes sense. Everything. Anyway, I was gonna say back to it, but we were just still talking
Back to it. Back to what we were just talking about.
we never
That I
left.
stopped talking about.
Odessa asks what he's hoping to find in ravioli, and he's like, no, we are going to listen for hot goss on the sitch. Odessa gets it and is like, Lissa creator won't be easy to find, and I'm an outsider. People don't want to chit chat. And he's like, they may want to tell their queen what's the haps. She starts singing Train, Meet Virginia, and is like, I don't really want to be the queen. But ever the wordsmith, Ransom is like, tough shit. He does give Odessa a compliment for suggesting they ask the pony boys. Subject change when he asks if she is really keeping the cat, and Odessa responds, dubbish, I guess I have a soft spot for monsters. She has a soft spot for a hard monster that Ransom has. In case you guys can't hear a wink.
That was a wink. You might have heard the spit in my mouth while I did that.
Oh, God.
Well, you fucked me up because you brought up Train Meet Virginia, and then I'm like, she smokes a pack a day, wait that sweet, and then I'm singing it in my head.
What a perfect song to like reference considering the jokes I make about cigarettes and our fridge cigs.
You should tell the class about that.
Okay, everyone should think it's not wrong that Coke, not fun Coke, Diet Coke.
Fun Coke. Fun Coke.
That's the party drug, yeah? I would never, but people talk about it. Diet Coke.
Yeah, so the less fun Coke, Diet Coke. Go ahead.
It has been referenced as a fridge cig, and that is so fucking accurate. Like you need a crisp one at the end of the day.
God. But there's that cold cracking up a cold one, and it's a fridge cig is so good.
Like you just come in from like being outside, working, it's hot, and then you bust open a Diet Coke, that first sip, that nothing tops it. But number one Coke, I don't even think it's McDonald's Coke. I think it's a can.
I might. Okay, so sometimes McDonald's DC hits the fucking spot and it's the best, and you
But they're
can't
not
be
consistent. So that's why
It's
it's
not
number one for me.
but a can is always consistent. I will always choose a can. I know what I'm getting.
Then McDonald's. That's
Yeah. But like when McDonald's DC is top tier, it's fucking top tier. Chapter 40. Ravioli was a different vibe compared to the other Tehran towns. Tehran. The building in Ravioli was all constructed from rough-hewn logs. They were all scattered about, and Odessa was losty lost. They left their horse and headed to the inn. Ransom comes back with 2 keys, so damn for us, no one bed and an inn trope for us. They head out towards the local blacksmith because Ransom wants to know who killed the Lion Wick. Once he gets to the blacksmith seems awfully fussed about Odessa. He asks him who his companion was, and he's like, Princess Odessa Wolf. And the blacksmith was like, the fuck? He's like, yeah, Wolf. She's the sparrow. Some respect was put on her name, and he bowed at her. He was a smarty pants, using the sparrow to get info out of these people. Odessa used some charm she had in her back pocket to butter him up. They learned it took 6 men to kill it, and something wasn't right with that monster. The paper man in town also got a nasty slice on his arm from it.
I fucking died when Odessa complimented the blacksmith. She's like, I don't know if I've ever seen such an impressive collection of chisels and dies and cone mandrels before. I love that she connected, but she's way out of her realm here.
It would just be like with me looking at John's rocks and like, wow, such nice brown rocks. Shiny ones, red ones. Is that a wishing rock? Never seen a collection like it.
Wait, do wishing rocks exist? Is that a thing?
Well, not in the rock collection.
Oh, I didn't know because, you know.
No, okay, so wishing
you're really
rocks,
in the rock world, so that could have been real.
That's true. I hate that I agreed that I'm in the rock world. So wishing rocks, don't you remember this as a kid? The ones that had a circle all the way around? That means you could make a wish. No?
No, my parents didn't instill any hopes and dreams in me. Like, what?
They didn't take you to beaches in Tacoma? Nowhere?
Beaches in Tacoma.
Oh, obviously. I grew up in Camino Island, so lots of beach time.
Beaches. Yeah, no, we would go to the coast, but like once a year.
Oh, I was like at the beach
Your
all the time.
family, well, neither of our families loved us, but
Were you about to say your family loved you?
yeah,
And then you had to stop?
I edited what I said. What a great friend. Like, remember, your family doesn't love you.
No, I get love from other people's families. Like yours, who doesn't love you.
They made up for your lack of love. They filled that bucket a little bit. The bucket.
But always a bucket.
Always got to come back to it.
The blacksmith went on and said the paperman was nice, but the time he writes the news, they've already heard about it at the tavern. The blacksmith told him he should write stories instead, but he is obsessed with the king's militia. Ransom shot her a look that was like, don't you fucking dare. She dared. The blacksmith told her that King Ramsay is recruiting for his militia. There hasn't been one in ages. I think it's in preparation. He thinks it's in preparation for the migration. Not sure why he's writing about it, though. Prob's leading people on. A real salesman. After that, they left. Odessa immediately asked Ransom if the militia was for the migration or something else, but Ransom apparently has bigger probs than Ramsay. It's intriguing to me that not only does Ransom call Daddy Dearest Ramsay, but even Big Cath refers to him as Ramsay.
No respect on that name.
None.
He doesn't
Not one.
title. 0, 0, 0, done. It's also interesting that the blacksmith would say if he was smart, he'd stop printing facts and start telling stories. We don't have many storytellers in town. He'd make far more coins spinning tales. I even suggested it to him once, but he stuck on all these suspicions about the king's militia. Why wouldn't they want the facts? Like, I understand, like, you want to pass stories down through generations, but like, why not do both? Why choose?
I think most people are more comfortable with just accepting authority as it is and not ask these questions. Like they don't want to think that maybe King Ramsay's up to something sus.
This is why we need the Odessas of the world that ask 1,000 questions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at cable news. People don't like asking questions unless it's their opinion.
This book is too relatable.
Mm-hmm. They moved on, chatting with the paperman. We meet the paperman and his son, Jonas. Ransom tells him he is there to ask about his owie. He tells him how he shot him, but his tail got him real good. He goes on to say the blood wasn't red. Also, it was big, stinky. It smelled like being in the middle of an Ozarth cave ginger bog. We also learned that the paperman and his family were well traveled because his wife, who died by a cut purse, aka a pickpocketer, 2 winters ago. We find out the paperman name is actually Samuel Hay, aka the man who wrote A Year in Quentis. Odessa lets him know she is that princess. Tension is thick. Luckily, Faze and Jonas cut the tension. Jonas was super impressed and said, "You're a princess and a legend tamer." So the Ozarth Bog being stinky stink, it's a fucking reach, but I just keep on thinking about her stupid fucking hair color. But what you're about to say, I agree with.
I don't think it's a reach because I feel like we'll be visiting this cave at some point. They grow it in Allagask bogs that give off the most vile rancid smell. If you love the candy, never see where it's farmed. You'll never eat it again. Unless Devney is just a big detail girly. Like the details make me think we will revisit or we'll visit there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely revisit the Ozarth Bog. I think that will be in our travels in the next book. I don't think it probably doesn't have anything to do with the hair color, but it still is just so weird how many times the stench of the hair color comes up.
I know, it throws me off. And this is Devney's first fantasy book, so maybe she really does like details. We'll find out next book, but I feel like there's more meaning to it.
I mean, I've read one of her romance and I don't feel like it was very super
not detailed to this level.
No, not
like
the same.
Pointing at my screen.
This level. Do we really think that Sam's wife was murdered by a petty thief, or do we think that she was targeted? What if someone got wind that the nobleman was speaking of the potential murder and killed his wife to shut him up?
I think she was definitely targeted. I do not think there's definitely more to this story because they were traveling. Like, what if they saw things? So, yeah, I think they were targeted.
A cut purse is such a weird fucking way of saying like a pickpocketer. Like I had to look it up because I didn't know.
I thought it was just it is a monster in its own right.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. It made me giggle, but I didn't know either. I had to look it up. It's an old timey term, I guess. A cut purse. Okay.
Interesting. So like that, like words matter.
Words matter, and just her giving or them giving the detail that it was just someone trying to steal money. Like I don't think they had that much money anyway. So why?
And the time frame. Like that we
Mm,
have specific time frames.
yeah. So I think the legend tamer is a foreshadowing.
Maybe that's what Ransom named his dick. She's gonna tame that bad boy.
She's the legend tamer. Good for her. Ransom was ready to go, but our girl had different plans. She wanted to talk about this book.
You know, there was another little monster mentioned. The Allagash lived in swamps and bogs. Their bodies were covered in lime green, whatever the fuck scoots is.
I love a good scoop. I don't know what it
I'm probably saying that wrong. You know, I butcher everything. And thank God I fucking have announced that I can't like say anything because then I'm off the hook for all of this.
is.
Anyways, and their tails were twice the length of their bodies. They could walk on land, though their legs were so short, their bellies scraped along the dirt. The monsters could unhinge their massive jaws to swallow prey whole. And just another little monster. So, do we think that Amma and Oda created this little nug or one of the kids?
It's a good question, but I think we will definitely see them in a different book.
Yeah, because why mention all these monsters if we're not going to
No.
revisit? Maybe. Maybe Odessa and Ransom.
Ransom.
Maybe they buy a zoo.
They have a.
They get a
Oh,
movie. It's on
yeah.
Hallmark. Not Lifetime. This is a Hallmark movie.
No, yeah.
Big difference. Yeah, they bought a zoo and they're gonna have all these little monsters because here she is taming one. Why not tame more?
Tame one, you can tame them all. You know, that's what
Exactly.
I always say.
Who was it? Mark Wahlberg was in the We Bought a Zoo.
No, it was Matt Damon, but
Okay,
similar.
similar looking white men. Chapter 41. I don't know why I hesitated. I looked up. I'm so sorry. Chapter 41, without the stutter. Samuel Hayes tells about his journey through Calandra with his wife until they returned to Quentis to help his wife, Emsley's sick mom. A year after returning, she was murdered, presumably by their rival family. Not what we think. A year after that, he wrote the book that pissed Odessa off. He wrote the book because he was mad and thought money could buy happiness. She's pissed, saying, "You called us traitors and thieves. You accused my father of murdering my mother." Samuel Hayes says, "Whoops, sorry. I exploited a rumor from a drunk nobleman without proof. I embellished because I knew it would sell." Turns out it did help them and got them to ravioli in Tara. So Emsley name meaning from Elmwood. They're all really obsessed with trees in this land. Maybe there's some Ents running around. For those who don't know, that's the walking trees from Lord of the Rings. But like, I feel like these trees got to be alive with all these fucking names.
Yeah, that's all I
Wise,
have to say.
wise,
Yeah,
wise old trees.
wise fucking trees. Love it.
Odessa then questions him about King Ramses' militia. Apparently, after the soldiers join the militia, they go radio silent. He tells her, "I've spent months talking to men who served the king in their youth. They all find it strange how letters go unanswered and visits home are never made. Very suspicious." Odessa then takes her chance to ask about Alisaria. Turns out it's a secret from him too, despite living there at Intera. Then Sammy says, "The paperman in me wants to dig and find the truth, to expose the reason for why the Turns would keep their location or keep the location of their capital secret. But the father in me has decided to let it go. I won't risk Jonas. I'm all he's got. We're safe here, despite the incident with the Lionwick. My son's happy. That's really all that matters." Odessa tells him she is unsure if the city even exists, so Sammy drops, "I actually wondered that myself, but there's a woman in Ravioli who has been here. According to her, the road is treacherous. It is guarded by a stone wall, and the only way to be granted entrance through the gates is by blood oath." To take a blood oath in order to keep the location secret, it's giving there's gods or something hanging out in Alisaria.
It's so like Fight Club esque. Like, stop being so dramatic, Terrence. Like, it's a little much.
Okay, Devney's a big fan of Fight Club and Star Wars.
That's that's what we've learned. Hmm
She hasn't
I
told us, but
she will tell us one day. With the blood oath, I don't know. I just keep on thinking about how when she asked him in the last chapter is about, do you believe in the gods? And he says, I think that they're all on their thrones judging us. What if, like, in your mountain situation, it's where, like, all of them have their thrones and then the shades, like, go out? Like, that's the center point or something.
I could see that. Like, I can literally picture the
Yeah.
visualization in my head because I'm a visual brain.
Because the way that he had talked about the gods seemed very, like, firsthand basis.
Yeah, like he knows them. He's met them.
Yeah.
They're not
And
homies, but he knows them because he
just
thinks
with,
they're dicks.
yeah, Alisaria being so suspicious and secretive, something's up there.
My gut just says something about those mountains. I just
I
don't know.
know.
They're just the mansion, Jesus Christ, of tall peaks,
Mhm.
as you were doing last time, tall peaks.
Topics.
Sammy then tells her, be careful of that curiosity. It has not been easy to find my place in ravioli. The Turns are incredibly distrustful of outsiders. Even as a sparrow, they won't welcome you with open arms. He then gives her the 411 that maps are punishable by death. They don't know what happened 3 generations ago, but something is up. Paris, not to be confused with Paris, California, or the country in Europe, essentially serves as the capital, and allegedly all the soldiers in Ravioli, just like Ashmore, were pulled, leaving people unprotected against Lissa. They also keep all knowledge in Alisaria, very private people. They yapped a little more until Ramsay came back. If anything, this conversation confirmed Alisaria existed and that she now had even more questions about her father's intentions.
Why do you think the Turns are so distrustful of outsiders? My guess is that has something to do with the timeline that you're about to give us.
Maybe it has something to do with the gods.
Maybe.
But let's talk timelines. I just don't understand. A capital is home to a kingdom's leaders, the place for diplomacy. I almost struggled. The place for diplomacy, to establish governance, a center for trade and commerce, a place to celebrate culture and preserve history. Why keep Alisaria a secret? What happened 3 generations ago that made the Turan rulers withdraw so severely? So the question of the hour is what happened 3 generations ago, which would be about 100 years ago. So there has been about 3 crux migrations since then, essentially. The last sparrow came to Tura from Lane. That was over 100 years ago and didn't stay long.
Just want to add, Lane is known for their spices and gold. Just throwing that out there. Keep going.
So Fennec had been hunted near to extinction 100 years ago as well. And remember, Odessa was poisoned with this powder used from their tusk 10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
Sorry,
Mhm.
you wrote it, but we're one.
It's one and the same.
Breeding Fennec is illegal. The Voster said that Lissa felt the same as the blood of someone poisoned with Fennec tusk powder. Fennec tusk powder and Corican have similarities. Remember, Corican is cavern dung boiled to mush and reduced to paste, making them hallucinate. And in chapter 46, the king's son was murdered 100 years ago when he was 15, which is why they have doubles.
I don't think so. But was the sparrow from Lane the real murderer? And that's why she pieced out?
Or she saw something she didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. And she left her child and ran?
Obviously, we haven't even got to chapter 70 or 76. There is no
You
70
haven't gotten there.
to 46 yet. So this thought isn't done, but that is the info we have for what happened 100 years ago. It's also said the soldiers stationed in Ravioli ensure peace and compliance. Any resistance is met with a heavy hand. At least that's how it was before the soldiers left. Why do they need to ensure peace and compliance? What is it that they need to comply with? Why would there be any civil unrest? What is Tara hiding? Because, like, all these people, they don't know anything. Like, all that wisdom is kept in Alisaria. Why keep all the people outside, like, not in the know when these are people that are like harvesting their lumber and all that jazz? All that jazz.
Well, it's a typical political thing. They try to dumb us down even in our own country. They don't want us to know things.
It's crazy, like, to plot your people against each other when, like, these are the people that bring money to your kingdom that are harvesting this wood and whatnot.
Wood. I'll show you wood.
Just some curious questions. Odessa was wondering if her dad was actually a cool cat trying to save them from the Crux when Ransom arrived. The Lionwick did have Lissa, and that there was another attack in the mountains previously by a grizzer, and a pack of bear wolves killed a merchant and his daughter. Odessa then starts to ask if someone else, created Lissa, but Ransom tells her, no way, Jose. You know nothing about the city cross. The bite in his voice was a sting. Don't bring it up again. So then it became an awkward, silent walk back to the inn. People were there now and whispering about them. They head into their respective rooms, and Ransom tells her that they will be leaving in the morning ASAP because King Ramsay is showing his face in ravioli and he wants to be gone before then. Odessa asks if he has a problem with the king, and Ramsay says something like that. Ransom says, good night, my queen. And so she says, good night, Ransom. And his eyes change from green to hazel. Kind Ransom has checked the fuck out. When she asks if he has a problem with the king, like, ooh boy, does he ever.
I just wonder why he gets so pissed when she asks about Alisaria, and wonder if it doesn't really have anything to do with her and more what is in Alisaria that just pisses him off. And obviously he can't really, none of them can talk about Alisaria because of the blood oath they made, but it's still, why is he so angry?
What if the blood oath is like what causes people to get defensive? Like that's just the magic. So that way, like they're
Right.
aggressive and like ready to
But that's why it's,
for it.
yeah, you're right, because his stuff is intensified than normal people. So he would be more,
Be a little more grr.
like,
So yeah, I wonder if it does have to do with the blood oath making them like meanies.
yeah, especially him because of his Lissa.
I think we are
On
investigators in our own right.
Well, I have always loved like movies and stuff that are investigative, like journalist type movies.
Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen,
Yeah, us.
bootleg Mary Kate and Ashley.
Or 42. They're up the crack of dawn. Des tried to lighten the mood to help from the awkwardness of last night, but nope, that didn't work. Ransom said it was time to get the show on the road, and shit, they heard horses off in the distance, and double shit, King Ramsay's wolf militia, allegedly, was there. He told her to get on her horse even though they were surrounded. Ransom told her not to say anything, not a single damn word. The king looked at Odessa and said, "You're the bride prize, the sparrow." Unfortunately, Des didn't keep her inside thoughts inside. I have a name. Ramsay told Ransom she should be in Alisaria. Ransom told him, nope, not until she can be trusted. Ouchie.
Just eye color check in. They were silver, and he was having none of this shit. But the king says, you're the bride prize, the sparrow. And Odessa thinks, well, she says, I have a name. And I wonder what name she would tell the king, cross or wolf. And I feel like that would determine like where her loyalty lies, like how she said her name to him. But
Well, I think at this point, because she doesn't know who her actual husband is, so she would probably say cross, even though her loyalty, we know, has started to shift.
yeah, and even though she did say like somebody
Yeah.
who's Catholic called her wolf and she accepted it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was just curious, like wondering what she would go with for the king.
Well, that's her father-in-law, so she's probably like, fuck you at the same time. It's a hard thing there.
Father-in-laws are just something else. They're just different beasts to deal with.
When he made the comment about like once she can be trusted, I think that's part of it, but I think he's actually more trying to protect her from what is in Alisaria and like prepare her and get her the knowledge she needs before he takes her there.
Without books.
Without yeah. Ransom? Ransom?
You mixed Ransom and Ramsay. They're right under each other.
They're right.
I can see how you can do that.
Yeah. Well, my mouth has a way.
How them your mouth do them things.
Oh, Jesus. Ransom is like, hey, we got places to be, people to see. That's not what it is. Anything else? Your motherfucking majesty. Wow. We got places to be, people to see. Anything else? Your motherfucking majesty. I am a fucking poet. Ramsay didn't give a care to the slight and said, such pretty hair. It's no wonder you caught my son's eye, princess. She says, thanks, your majestic boo-boo. They started walking, but she saw smoke coming from Samuel Hayes' home. Jonas came out of the house coughing and asking for Papa. Ransom took off in search of Sam. Odessa held Jonas as he sobbed for his dad. I almost said daddy, and I don't know why, and I'm glad it stopped. Sam came out of the house with his arms full of books and clothes and anything else he could carry. The soldier tried to rip the books from his hands, but Ransom was like, touch them and you die. Ransom was like, we ride now.
Touch them and you die. Ransom, covered in soot, soot, and ash and sweat, walked through the door with a haul like Samuel's. Do you picture him with like a cigarette here, walking in front of the flames? Yeah, not a fridge cig, but like a real one.
Yeah, I would watch him with the fridge cig and like
busting the books in one hand, the fridge cig in the other, with the crisp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the king said, such pretty hair. It's no wonder you caught my son's eye, princess. I think that's an interesting line, considering her hair was brown when she met him and she doesn't know like that he saw her. But it brings me back to Big Kath mentioning Odessa being too much like her mother, or is Ransom just into redheads?
Definitely not a throwaway line. And like red hairs, something's up there.
Because we talk about her hair too much for.
What if they get to fucking Alisaria and all the gods, like the 6 fucker gods, all have red hair?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know. They're like, gingers unite.
This is a book that just really wants to put gingers on the map. Like, they will no longer be the redheaded stepchildren. They will no longer be made fun of. Like, they're gods.
End of story. Period.
Won't make fun of me. Devney's actually a redhead. Like, she colors it like Odessa.
Yeah, like, they got so pissed people's telling them they don't have souls that they're like, actually, I'll show you soulless. And they just send monsters out.
They might be pissed about their red hair situation. Oma and Ada. Oma and Oda.
What's hilarious is my brain couldn't think of the real one after you said it. I'm like, no, that's not right. But no, what is it?
It's wrong, but it doesn't. It
felt okay.
Something had slightly shifted.
We're on a different timeline. They started riding off, and Odessa looked Ramsay straight in the eyeballs and said, coward. And he was like, say what, princess? And she said, I called you a coward. Ramsay replied, watch yourself, girl. Your ignorance is showing. Odessa spat back at him, as is your true nature. Only fools and liars burn books in people's homes. Ramsay leaned forward trying to intimidate her, but that didn't fucking work because she squared up and essentially said, fuck you. He straightened and said, I heard the Gold King's eldest daughter was weak. I see my spies have been mistaken. The wheel. Sorry. There are many things happening in my kingdom, Princess Odessa Wolf. What Tura needs are a few fires. Ransom demanded Ramsay to leave. Ramsay says, you have 1 month. Do not make me come find you again. Month from what, motherfucker?
Okay. So the king says, I was told the Gold King's eldest daughter was weak. I see my spies have been mistaken, but yet everyone tells Odessa now that she's strong. It seems like it's been a ruse long in the making to ensure she looks weak on the outside. And I blame Margot. Margot is really suspicious to me. Friend or foe.
Right. Well, you could look at it either way. It could easily go either way. Is she trying to protect Odessa and like hide her from all these eyes? And that's why she's like, no, the brown suits you.
Which goes back to like, what if there's a power in being underestimated? We've gone full circle now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I like that she just like gave him the business and yelled at that king. She doesn't give a care. She's just going for it.
No, that's queen energy.
That is queen energy. It's redheaded queen energy.
Yes. She's gonna have some big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 43. Odessa and Ransom stayed another night in Ravioli, only to set off to Elder with Samuel Hay. Odessa has come a long way since her fuck you Samuel Hay days. She passed off phase to Jonas and opened her high-risk journal, the one she could be 86 from life for. Odessa's a clever girl, though. She enlightens us with, it must have been the god of mischief guidance that had made me disguise my map. Rather than draw it on a single page, I'd use the edges and corners of many. They overlapped, fitting together like a puzzle. If anyone did find my journal, they'd find drawings of monsters and tree houses and mountains and towns, each bordered with a few embellishments that look like nothing on their own, but put together, lined up, and overlapped just right. It was Tara. It was like she had a hunch to hide her map in the sneakiest of ways. Also, I hate calling it a hunch. It like makes me think of Hunchback.
I don't know why, but I feel like Daria and Farius are like each other's counterpart. They're twin. Like how Amanoda.
Oh, that like I was just
Luck.
assuming the six of them were like essentially twins.
Right. So it's like, so if say each one in a six, and especially with like the corresponding shade, like being the opposite, if you're going like this way,
Yeah.
you would have, I don't know why, because I just think that luck and mischief are each other's twin. Like they make sense to me. And then I was thinking Arabella and Isaac for the goddess of love and death, but because Kareen being peace and Mac being war.
That would make sense. If we had to choose twins, like I think you're on the right path.
And I kind of feel like if Amanoda made twins for everything, it just makes sense to me.
In our mind, that does make sense. R because we are one.
True.
Yeah, I think that good call out.
Thanks.
Sammy gives a shout out to Ransom for saving a lot of his late wife's things. He says the fire moved for Ransom. He was giving him high praise for saving everything for him and tells Odessa she is lucky to have him at her side. Odessa catches up with Ransom and starts assaulting him with questions. First up, how did he get his nickname? He tells the story. I was in Wester on the coast, a port on the Crescent. It was the year I was bitten. Lissa didn't have a name at that point. Only the Voster knew what had happened, how I'd changed. The high priest was still trying to understand the infection, and I'd been following rumors of vicious monsters with green blood, hunting for the bear wolf that bit me, that one-eyed son of a bitch. In Wester, some gal let him stay in a room in her home. She didn't return one day. Turns out some shady men took her and a few others and were going to traffic them. The girl's mother called him the Guardian, and it stuck. We found out that one of those shady dudes was Banner's brother, so the Guardian took him the fuck out. Well deserved. Ta-ra! Good job. When Samuel says, the guardian walked through fire, and I swear to you, princess, those flames shied away. I don't doubt it. If the Voster can do cheap water shows, like why wouldn't fire move for him? Which, if he's moving flames and the Voster had a water crown hover over Odessa at the beginning of the book, it's really giving that they are the balance to one each other, and that's just, confirming that theory for me.
Especially because she feels called to the water, jumping in the ocean. So she's like, obviously the Voster, that's what they do is deal with water. But I don't know, crown of water.
Water and fire, like those are opposites, but they usually, they're balancing each other.
Just a thought. Ransom is adamant that there is no cure, which is very Zayden Ryerson of him, I might add. But what if he thinks that because that's what the Voster told him, and the Voster told him that because they don't want a cure, aka they don't want him looking for a cure.
Maybe they're trying to prevent something from happening, and if he has a cure,
yeah,
then
it's in their best interest that he thinks that there's no way out of this.
Yes, I'm onto that. I'm into that. I'm on to it. Odessa then asks Ramsay what he meant by the 1 month comment. Ransom just tells her because he's a fucking piece of filth and to act as general. But that's no dice in his book. She then asks why he isn't doing anything about Lissa. Ransom is just like, IDK, my BFF Jill. Then he told her that he said to stay quiet and God save the men that make her mad, and then gave her a swoon-worthy smile. She looks at his cuff, and there are some fresh marks, which she thought were from lives that he'd taken, but what she saw was there was a small diamond-shaped fleck above a square. A dash line connected that square to another and another, and that square was surrounded with 9 more diamond-shaped flecks. They were so small they must have been nicked into the leather with the tip of a knife. 9 cuts for 9 werewolves in Ashmore? Was that fresh mark from Ravioli? Then she's like, wait, what? Is that a map? Ransom tells her that Xavier is an elder, and she's like, ooh, cool. I need to check on Faye's G2G. They arrive in Elder, and Ransom gets Samuel Hay and company set up with a crib. Odessa says she's going to visit Brielle and that bitch Jocelyn. Ransom goes to say something, then him and his hazel eyes changes mind. She gets to her house and sees a woman and a man kissing, and then another man is walking out, putting his shirt on. That guy is Xavier. That gal, that bitch Jocelyn. He'd been sharing Jocelyn. Faye's let out a roar. Faye's can feel Odessa's emotions.
Yeah.
It's that like calls to like.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was so mad at this part reading this book. Like, fuck Jocelyn.
Well, we knew she sucked, but then like, wow, you really suck. I was just thinking when you were reading, I was like, well, good for Odessa. She's younger than us, but like she could actually see the marks on the cuffs. I would be like, what is that?
I'm sorry, is there something on your wrist? Can I look at that?
I can't see that far.
I don't have my glasses.
That I never wear. Well, I mean, now I do, but yeah.
I mean, I definitely, I refuse. I continue to exercise my eyes.
Chapter 44. Xavier Boy tried to get Odessa to stop, but she kept storming off. Ransom tried to figure out what was wrong. Xavier apologized to Ransom, which obviously pissed off Odessa because why are you apologizing to him and not your dang wife, you loser? She started crying, and she didn't really know why, other than that deep-seated reminder that she was never first choice. Not with her father, not with Margot, and now not with Xavier.
Xavier, I almost said, I was going to say Zayden, but my God, let me get my brain on right. Ransom, his hazel eyes flicked over Odessa's head, and then the hazel eyes gave way to molten silver, like protective daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But also her trauma is showing. Like Gloria would definitely be of some use here.
Yeah, she obviously has some shit she needs to work out, but like, oh my God, she is so first child. Like,
I don't know. I can't relate to that.
yeah, I can.
Youngest child reformed to middle child.
Yeah, I'm first child, and then your dad gets a new family, and then I became the gray. What did I call her earlier?
I don't even.
The gray girl or something.
Yeah.
Like the daughter you just don't give a shit about. So I get it. Ransom opened the door and Des told him to go away, but he said no. Ransom told her that Xavier just told him, and he's looking at Odessa and is like, "You're really that upset?" She continued to cry and was like, "Yes, no, I feel relieved." Ransom said a wife shouldn't feel relieved that her husband is sleeping with her lady's maid. He forces her to look at him. She tells him she has to let go. Him. Ransom wasn't hers to keep.
Odessa had a little bit of karma
Mhm.
because he told her no. And it was just really fitting since she loves to tell him that.
Well, I just wonder, like, when Ransom sees her so upset, like crying, like if that panic inside him, like, wait, do you have feelings for Xavier?
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, she might have actually liked this guy.
Yeah, like, which sucks because he loves her.
I mean, she knew she wanted to like sleep with him only because that's like
Yeah,
his
she didn't know.
duties.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just jealousy rearing its ugly head.
Fucking ugly jealousy from that bitch ass Jocelyn. Fucking Jays, can't trust him. Ransom drops a bombshell that, frankly, I think everyone saw coming. He's the real crown prince and Odessa's husband. He had seen her jump off a cliff in Roslo. She'd gone in the water with brown hair and came out with red. He couldn't tear his eyes away. The next time he saw her, it was back to brown. He sees in her what he sees in himself, pretending, leading a dual life and wearing a disguise. She tells him not to go on and say anything that will make her hate him. But he comes back. You already hate me, remember? He continues, I came to Quentin's to sniff out the Gold King and see why the hell he hired us to kill marrow eels when he could do it. Plus, he wanted to see the daughter that would be the future queen of Tara. But I saw you and everything changed. I decided to set you free. She's like, free? How the fuck am I free? Married to Xavier, I'm wearing twice the shackles as before, to 2 kingdoms, and a man that wants to bone my lady maid and not me. Ransom tells her, you are not chained to Xavier. They didn't exchange vows, and Xavier hid the vial that would have been green blood, not red. His comment about them pretending, leading a dual life and wearing disguise, I think this is a double meaning sentence. Even if he doesn't know that, I think it's Devney doing a little writer's play on words. Little sneaky snake.
I love her writing, God damn it. I love
Me too.
sneaky snake. Just want to
Mm-hmm.
say, like, calls to like. He's like, but then I saw you and everything changed. She's like, what did you do? I decided to set you free. He's
I think it
smart.
just, yeah. I just think it proves that the pull those two have with one another The Guardian was kind of like a get shit done, only business type of guy who was looking to snuff out that king, but he felt strongly enough about this pull, urge, hunch towards her to save her. It's just telling.
That like calls to like that fate bullshit.
Motherfucker. Odessa's like, what the fuck? You tricked us? He was like, the high priest knows. Odessa's like, but why? You're not the Okay, I love you, Des, but the fact that it took you this long, even in this conversation, is fucking wild. She was like, it was you. All of it's been a ruse. And Ransom said, not all of it. You've always been my queen. The nickname he always calls her. She asked him why. How will forcing me into a marriage set me free? Ransom says, I'm not long for this realm, Odessa, and when I'm gone, you will be free. Your tie to me will be broken. Your life can be of your choosing. This cracks her damn heart, and she just starts crying. You lied to me. Yes. I hate you. Yes, you do. And then leaves.
What if that has a bigger meaning? I'm not long for this realm.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's going to a god's realm? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean he's dying. There's no cure. He's not like, I'm being 86 from life when this is over. It's, I'm not long for this world. I'm not long for this realm. So I think that there's more meaning to that.
And even if he's not conscientious of that, another Devney writer's trick.
Yeah, I don't think he's long for Calandra.
Yeah, and I think he does probably think like he's gonna die or like of some sort from probably that's what the V Bros are telling him.
But it's like how the blood oath like makes it so that they can't speak about things. There's some sort of things where he can't say like I'm gonna die.
Right.
Because he's not.
He's not gonna die.
When he first told her that she was married to him, I was like screaming with joy, like such a fuck yeah moment. Because like I mean that bitch Jocelyn gets credit for being a skank and setting all this emotion so he could be like honest with her.
Yeah. It was needed. It was
That's
necessary.
the only credit Jocelyn gets.
Fucking Jocelyn.
That bitch.
That bitch Jocelyn.
Chapter 45. Odessa was reeling from the whole situation. Either he'd confess the truth to her he hadn't trusted in me, or she'd fucked her husband. Either way, not cool, guys, not cool. There was a knock on the door, and it was that bitch Jocelyn. She immediately was like, I'm sorry. I'll take whatever punish you give. And Odessa's like, whoa, too far. I'm not like my bitch sister. Turns out this has been going on a while. Jocelyn met some guy named Vander, then asked to have Xavier join them. That bitch Jocelyn is like, no feels, just fucking, which pulled at Odessa's heartstrings because she's too nice. She ends up admitting she wants to go home. Odessa's like, fine, I'll see what I can do because this is a solid excuse to get rid of your bitch ass. But you have to tell my dad. You must tell my father that I've failed. The Turrens suspect he's trying to find their city. And the last person they'll ever trust that information is me. Please tell him I'm sorry. This was definitely her release of her spy duties. Like, she was an awful spy, anyways, but now she gets like wipe her hands clean.
And honestly, she should be like thanking that slutter bucket for giving her an out.
We don't want to give her too much credit, though, because fuck that
No.
bitch Jocelyn.
No, like we can say it behind closed doors, but like she doesn't need to say it.
Yeah. Odessa left out that she does know about Tara and that then told that bitch Jocelyn, tell my father to be cautious. They're amassing a militia, probably to defend against the migration, but he must consider this in whatever he is planning. I don't know where King Ramsay is training these soldiers, but the barracks and Elder are full, and it seems that both Xavier and the Guardian consider this their home. That bitch Jocelyn offers to stay longer, which is fucking wild and bold of her. Odessa is like, no, you can fucking go. Finally, Odessa was doing shit for herself. She was going to have her husband help her reach her freedom. The fucking nerve of Jocelyn to be like, you sure? I can find more info, baby girl. Like, ma'am, you're fucking her husband as far as, like, the balls on her.
She's definitely not a girl's girl. Chapter 46. Odessa was on her way to the training ring. She gets the sads because people from Triao are now an elder and are referring to her as princess. Her secret identity is about to be exposed. She sees Xavier and says, "Heyo," and then realizes she doesn't know his real name. It's apparently Dre, but he hasn't been called that for over a decade. Time for more questions. How much does that bitch Jocelyn know? Nothing. She thinks that he is the prince and he can't speak. Xavier tells Ransom he's sorry yet again. Odessa pipes up and is like, before you go, Jocelyn is to be sent back to Quintus immediately.
Do you think that Xavier's wiener just went? "Wah."
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It retreated back into his body.
Ew. Oh my god, I'm just saying like inverted nipple.
Yeah.
So the Dre name meaning is large, tall, doty, which it means brave and persistent, patient, long suffering, withered, lacking in warmth of feeling. So the patient, long suffering seems to be spot on since he's been doing this for over a decade and definitely lacking in a warm feeling based on how fucking awkward he is to Odessa.
Yes. Like, luckily we see him as a dad. So then we see that, like, there's warmth and he's got a personality there and really likes threesomes. But, like, he's so awkward with Odessa. And I get it. It's like trying to do the space, but, like, I don't feel any warm and fuzzy feelings towards him at all as a
He
character.
knows that but she doesn't know that, yeah,
Yeah.
that awkward sitch.
The room clears out and Odessa has some questions. One, how dare you? JK, that's just it was an office callback. Sorry, guys. One, does everyone know and think I'm a fool? Ransom tells her not very many people know and nobody thinks you're a fool. Two, what the fuck is your name, Guardian? Ransom, Xavier, Ransom Wolf. He's always gone by Ransom. Three, how long has Xavier pretended to be you? 11 years. Every prince and princess in Tara has, I gotta stop doing that. In Tara has had a double in Tara until they come of age. 100 years ago, the king's son was murdered when he was 15. Four, why are you still continuing the charade? There are reasons that he apparently won't tell her. In this, it says the entire kingdom was built on a mountain of secrets, from Alisaria to their crown prince. Absolutely not a throwaway line, and I was so happy for you when I read this. Why are you happy about this, Kai?
Weird. A mountain, you say? A mountain, which I fucking mention in every single episode, if not damn near close to every fucking chapter.
Weird. She's got a hard on for mountains. Okay, she's a hiker, so it makes
I
sense.
mean, to be fair, I do have a mountain tattooed on me, but yep, big hard on for mountain. The plural.
Yeah, the mountain of secrets is Alisaria. There's no, and we think maybe potentially redheaded gods in there. Who knows? She got real pissed and went after him. He tells her to stop because she'll get hurt. She hits him with, are you going to fight me? Or are you going to keep running away like the coward you are? Like father, like son. Boom, roasted. Question 6. Does your dad know all this? Yes. 7. Was it your dad's idea for the bride price? No, it was his idea. He tells her that your father plans to invade Tura. He's desperate to find Alisaria, and I was always going to have to satisfy the Shield of Sparrows with a union to his daughter. We've known for years he's been training your sister to be a spy. She's almost as good as Flag Boy with knives. I needed a way to choose a different sparrow. Odessa comes back with the weaker daughter. He tells her that she isn't weak, and he knew that as soon as he saw her jump off the cliff. She tells him she hates him. She's just a pawn in his little twisted sick games. You use me to manipulate your father and mine. He tells her, you are not a pawn, Odessa, not to me. You are the sparrow. You are my wife. You're the future queen of Tura. What the hell does the Golden King want in Alisaria so bad? And why do I think it's her mom, or at least some questions regarding the gods, aka her mom?
What is the one thing that most kings want? Power.
Power.
So I definitely think like he sees power in Alisaria for him, and then he probably like wants to take over all of Calandra. My guess.
Yeah. I feel like Flag Boy and May's knife skills are going to come into play later in the series.
Yeah, because why talk about like the best warriors in each country? Like, there's something up with that knife skill because May's a close second to Banner.
Yeah, that's something. They go back and forth, and she tells him he should tell the people the truth. He's like, they can't handle the truth. Not really, but he says the Turin prince is dying. He has the same infection as those monsters hunting them in their towns. She yells at him and some more and calls him a fucking asshole. He agrees. She starts crying because she no longer feels the fury about the lying, but she will have to lose him. Why would you make me suffer losing you? Why not let me stay, believe I was Xavier's wife? He closes the gap between them and says, you're mine, Odessa. And guess what color eyes they were? Gold, just like hers. Good as gold. Okay, so she's mad again and she shoves him and yells, you should have told me. She thinks about the blood oath she made not to kill him. She launches at him again and starts hitting him. She yells, "You're a coward. You're fake, and I hate you." Ransom says, "Now who's the liar?" He pulled her in and he held her close. He refused to release her, and she asks, "Why me?" And he tells her, "I told you, you're mine. I'm so sorry, my queen." She says, "Why?" Oh, she says, "We shouldn't have to fight this hard." He said, "Why not? Isn't this what we should be fighting for?" He stared at her with his eyes, the riches of green, of moss and earth and ransom.
I wonder if there is a god that favors nature, considering he smells like nature, his
Mm-hmm.
eye color is. Or maybe he's
Nature.
the god of nature. He's Mother Nature.
He's a mother.
So let's talk about his eye color.
Your favorite.
His eyes changed as they searched mine, not silver, not hazel, not emerald green. They turned gold. The same color gold I saw each morning in my mirror. You're mine, Odessa. It was a growl, more animal than human, and the shiver that cascaded down my spine might as well have been my own blades, cleaving me in two. Okay, let's talk about this. Two things. Throughout the Bible, gold symbolizes purity, righteousness, and divine presence. Divine presence, my friends. And I know we reference the Bible for meanings a lot, but that is because they come up first. And a lot of people derive shit from the Bible, okay? Is the gold and her lack of starburst her divine and his divine presence from the gods? And then, secondly, it says, and the shiver that cascaded down my spine might as well have been my own blades cleaving me in two. Okay, there's a transformation happening. Here's the crack making her split in two between Clentus and Tara.
Okay, so the lack of starburst says to me that she's obviously not rooted to any place in Calandra, like other citizens on this slice of a crater, which, by the way, that's so weird. That's what it is. And then we add in the gold, meaning divine presence. I think it's just proof that she's not rooted in a single place in Calandra because she belongs with the gods or a part of the gods. Then we add in Ransom's eyes being gold, the same as Odessa's. It's like his magic is tied to hers and they become kind of one in that moment, and that's his home. Because we see his eyes shift so many different times for things. And the fact that it goes to gold is very, he belongs to her in that moment. And they're like godly together. The path has changed.
I wonder if at some point hers will change color.
Maybe. Yeah. Unclear who moved first, but they had a kiss and it was passionate. It was like the first breath after jumping off a cliff, plunging into the ocean, breaking free to get air in her lungs. It was like being remade. They keep getting hot and heavy in the kissing department. She starts doubting everything during this life altering kiss and she steps out of Ransom's reach. Ransom says Odessa. She leaves. Okay. Remade is the way that she describes it. Saying a kiss makes you feel remade when talked in this book multiple times about reincarnation, and that's what some people believe. I know I said that I believe her mom was reincarnated, but what if it's actually Odessa? Maybe Odessa is a part of her mom's reincarnation. And this is, I know, all out there, crazy theory, but like remade?
Not that crazy because we literally just referenced her saying, the shiver that cascaded down my spine might as well have been my own blades, cleaving me in two. And then the world around us begins to spin, fading into streaks of light and dark until the colors blend together in a swirl of gray and white and black, until the only color that remained was green. It's like they were traveling through the shades. In ancient Egypt, green was the symbol of regeneration and rebirth. Just saying, everything shifted for their fate in this moment, in my opinion.
It's like they finally both got on like the right timeline, like faded when those two came together.
They synced up. Those who
Yeah.
flock together flow together.
When she said it hadn't taken him long to master my name. Okay, so you can take this line at face value. They've known each other a couple months, and the power he has in just simply saying her name and making her feel all the feels. But what if? What if? These two have been remade. What if they are gods that in their story keep finding each other? Like gods, soulmates, twin flames that have to keep falling in love and finding each other in these different timelines each time they're remade. There's a tether between the two, and I don't believe it's just because of the blood oath. It's deeper than that. That's what she said. And it's as if they were written in the stars and will find each other in this life or the next. And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
I mean, there's 100% more to it than just the blood oath because that tether was there before she knew that that was her husband. And maybe they haven't found each other in past lives and like they finally did. And then
And now
that's
they're on
why
the right,
shit's changing.
like the right timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so we know the six put these monsters, the crux, to teach him who's boss. Maybe we look at it as that's a curse. And in this curse, the way to break it is these two coming together and breaking the curse in some way.
Yeah. They I just think they're a curse breaker.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Too many fantasy books. But like really,
Yeah, I mean, everything's shifting now that they like the timeline has pushed them together. So I think you're onto something. But really.
I think just because of we had covered the Empyrean before, and like when you're first deep diving Fourth Wing, you have such little information. So I think my brain is starting to go like, let's think bigger. Like, what could it just be here? Because that's what obviously Rebecca did. And I feel like romance writers feel like it's happening.
We have so many theories and thoughts and feelings right now. And then the next book will process of elimination. We have to throw everything because everything is possible. Literally.
But they all do seem possible / probable to me. Like it could go a couple different ways, but they make sense
Yeah. I mean, I think we're spot on about everything.
because we are. But yeah, no, I don't know. Something's, I'm excited. God, we have to wait a year for this next book. I mean, it's so much better than fucking Avatar, but still.
Akatar, like, we're never going to see that next book. Okay, so we met some new people. We met Samuel Hay officially, Jonas Hay, and we met Xavier because his real name is Dre. Hey, Dre.
Hey, Dre.
We met some monsters. I say a cut purse is a monster because thieves are awful. They are monsters. Identity theft
They're
is
a
no joke.
monster in your monster in your life for sure.
Alagask, which we discussed in chapter 40.
So that's that. Thanks for tuning in and joining us as we continue through the world of Calandra. We have new episodes every Wednesday. If you love the pod, please share to your stories and tag us.
Don't forget to follow us on social medias. And Avi, we love it when you write us reviews. So do that. All links are in our info, you giggling gal pals.
Bye.